Hello everybody, today I'm going to teach you how to divide fractions. In the previous video, we learned how to multiply fractions. Today, you will learn how to divide fractions. Before we get into that, here's a review. So, in a fraction, the number on top of the line is called the numerator and the number below it is called the denominator. In this case, 4 is the numerator and 7 is the denominator. The numerator tells us how many parts we are talking about, and the denominator tells us how many parts the whole is divided into. Which means in this case, 7 is the denominator, which means that the whole has been divided into 7 equal parts, and 4 is the numerator, which means we are talking about 4 equal parts. That is a quick review about fractions. Now let's get into dividing. So to divide fractions, you have to multiply the first fraction by the reciprocal of the second fraction. Now reciprocal may be a new word for you guys, so I include a definition. Reciprocal is the flipped version of a fraction. An example of that is that the reciprocal of 3/4 is 4/3. Basically, you swap the numerator and denominator. Since we had 3/4, the numerator was 3 and the denominator was 4. You swap them and you make the numerator 4 and the denominator 3, and you get 4/3. Here are some problems where we are required to find the reciprocal. It's some easy practice to prepare us for dividing. So let's try to find the reciprocal of 2/3. We need to flip the two numbers. We flip 2 and 3, they swap places, and we swap 3 with 2, so we get 3/2 or 3/2, which means reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2. Now, our second problem is 2/7. We have to now swap those two numbers. And that means that 7 swaps with 2 and 2 swaps with 7, and we get 7/2 or 7/2, which means 2/7 reciprocal is 7/2. Here are some practice problems for division. So before you multiply the two fractions by the reciprocal, you need to find the reciprocal. Now for this first example, we need to find the reciprocal of 4/5, which means swapping the two numbers, which gives us 5/4. Now what we have to do is multiply 1/2. You have to multiply it by the reciprocal. Once you do this, you multiply 1 and 5, you multiply the numerators, and you multiply the denominators. That gives us 5/8. And that is our final answer. That means that 1/2 divided by 4/5 is 5/8. Here's our second and final problem. We have 3/5 divided by 5/6. First of all, we need to find the reciprocal of 5/6. Now, to do that, we have to swap the numerator and denominator, which gives us 6/5, which means that the reciprocal of 5/6 is 6/5 or 6/5. Now what is left for us to do is multiply 3/5 by 6/5. Now to do that, we multiply the numerators by each other and multiply the denominators by each other. 3 times 6 over 5 times 5. 3 times 6 is 18, and 5 times 5 is 25, and that is our final answer. Therefore, 3/5 divided by 5/6 equals 18/25. I hope you learned something new from this video and you enjoyed it. Goodbye.